The Green and the Black, by Simon Jester, Onverwacht, Spinward Periphery April 17, 3151, the fog draped Onverwacht like a shroud, a grey veil that muffled sound and devoured light. Michi Fraser, or whatever alias he'd stitched to his soul this time, stood on the cracked earth, the servos of his Nighthawk PA.L. suit humming faintly as he tweaked the visor. The HUD stuttered, struggling to map the jagged wasteland, rusted Mech husks, shattered ferrocrete, a boneyard of lost wars. His breath rasped inside the helmet, steady but laced with a gnawing unease he hadn't felt since Dirone. He'd chased bounties from Terra's shadows to the clan homeworlds, faced warlords and pirates, but this contract was a different beast. The Republic of the Sphere had dumped a king's ransom in his lap: hunt down the Black Marauder, a phantom Mech shredding the Spinward Periphery, and keep the questions to yourself. The payout could buy a junk ship, maybe a quiet life. Michi wasn't wired for quiet. His Marauder loomed beside him, 75 tons of emerald-painted steel, currency symbols stenciled in gold across its chest, a taunt to anyone with the guts to cross him. It was a custom beast, twin PPCs salvaged from a Fedson's wreck, their coils glowing faintly with latent charge, an autocannon upgraded with clan-grade ammo feeders, and sensors that could pierce a sandstorm. The bounty hunter's legacy demanded the best. And Michi delivered. Around it stood his lance, green as Sion's jade mines, Kalia Voss and her mad cat, a missile-slinging terror with a temper to match, Tomas Rourke in a warhammer, built for brawls, and Jens Halvorsen in a griffin, light and wired for recon. 2 years together, forged in blood and sea-bills, as close to kin as this life allowed. A kilometer back, the Le Blanc, a mule-class dropship modded with armor, ECM, and enough guns to make a pirate sweat, waited under Rika Tanaka's sharp eye, ready to haul their winnings or their wrecks. Michi tapped his comm, voice low and clipped. "Jens, what's the read?" The Griffin's pilot shifted in his cockpit, jump jets idling. "Fog's thicker than a Capellan tax code, boss. Sensors are catching ghosts, heat blips that vanish when I lock. Could be interference, could be something playing games, keep it tight," Michi said. "This thing's a mech, not a wraith. Bleeds like anything else." He didn't voice the rumors clawing at his mind, the Black Marauder's eerie moves, its empty cockpit, the way it broke men's spirits. He'd heard the tales, lived a few himself as the bounty hunter, but he didn't swallow the supernatural tripe. It was tech, piloted by someone razor-sharp or cracked. Either way, it'd fall. Kalia's voice sliced through, edged like her mad cat's claws. "Contract said it smoked a Raven Star last month. 3 jumps from Valasha, 5 Mechs, 2 Vipers, 3 Summoners, gone in minutes. Cockpit shots on the heavies, like it was reading their damn minds. Precision's not invincible," Michi countered. "We've got numbers and prep. Jens scouts, you and Tomas pin it, I take the kill. No hotshot moves." Tomas grunted, his Warhammer's PPCs humming as he flexed its arms. "For that cash, I'd slug a Jade Falcon Star barehanded. Let's bag this freak." Michi climbed into his Marauder's cockpit, the Nighthawk servos syncing with the Mech systems. The neuro helmet settled over his skull. A faint buzz as it linked his brain to the beast. The reactor thrummed alive, gyros balanced, weapons hot, displays glowing green. He flexed the Marauder's arms, feeling 75 tons ripple under his will. "Move out," he ordered. "Jens, take point." The lance advanced, green shapes cutting through the haze. Onverwacht was a mech warrior's hell, cracked planes studded with wrecks, visibility choking at 0. Perfect for an ambush, Michi's bread and butter. The Black Marauder thrived in chaos, he'd feed it some, then snap its neck with its own game. 2 hours later the fog hadn't budged, but the tension had coiled tighter. Jens's Griffin darted ahead, jump jets flaring as it crested a ridge littered with a gutted centurion's bones. "Got a ping," he reported, voice taut. "Heat signature, big 1, 2 clicks east. Moving slow, too slow. Like it's waiting." "Lock it," Michi said, easing his marauder into a crouch behind a shattered Atlas husk, its skull cockpit leering through the mist. Kalia, Tomas, flank wide. Draw it out, copy, Kalia replied, her mad cat lumbering right, missile racks primed. Tomas swung left, warhammer stomping through ash. Michi watched his HUD, the blip pulsing like a heartbeat, steady, deliberate. Too steady for a patrol. Bait, he reckoned. His fingers tightened on the controls, PPCs charging with a low, electric whine. Jens's voice spiked. Visual. Damn, it's black as a void. Marauder chassis, but off. Angles are wrong, too sleek. It's just standing there, staring. Engage, Michi snapped. Light it up. The Griffin's PPC fired, a jagged blue-white bolt of plasma and lightning slicing through the fog. A deep tone echoed back, solid hit. Leg armors scorched. Jens crowed. It's not, wait, it's moving. Michi's sensors flared as the blip surged, faster than a marauder should. Kalia, Tomas, hit it now, he barked. The mad cat's LRM streaked skyward, 30 missiles arcing down in a fiery rain. While the Warhammer's twin PPCs unleashed their own crackling blue-white fury. Explosions bloomed 2 clicks out, orange against the gray, and Michi advanced, autocannon spinning up, his marauders' floodlights cutting weak beams through the murk. Then the comms screeched, static, shrill and jagged. Jens yelled, "It's on me." Too fast. A blue-white PPC bolt ripped through the fog, impossibly precise, and the Griffin's icon winked out. Michi's HUD flashed, cockpit breach, pilot lost. Jens was gone, a smear of slag in seconds. Son of a bitch. Tomas roared, his warhammer charging forward. I've got it, firing. Twin PPCs blazed, plasma lightning streaks carving the haze. Kalia's missiles followed, a relentless storm. Michi pushed his marauder into a run, cresting the ridge, and saw it, the Black Marauder loomed in the fog, a nightmare in matte black. Its shape was wrong, too sleek, too angular a predator's form in steel. Scorch marks marred its legs and torso from the missile barrage, but it stood tall, unfazed, 75 tons of menace. Its right arm snapped up, PPC glowing, and a jagged bolt slammed into the warhammer's chest. Tomas grunted as his mech staggered, armor sloughing off in molten chunks. He fired back, blue-white streak scoring a hit on the black mech's shoulder, sparks flew, metal screamed, but it didn't slow. Kalia's mad cat lumbered in, missiles raining down. It's dodging, how's it dodging? She shouted, voice cracking. The Black Marauder twisted, its torso bending in a way no mad, free or should, sidestepping half the salvo. It returned fire, a second PPC bolt punching through the mad cat's left missile pod. The launcher erupted in a fireball, silencing half her arsenal. Kalia cursed, swinging the autocannon around, but the black mech was already gone, melting into the fog. Michi's jaw tightened. 2 shots, 2 critical hits, cockpit and weapons. This wasn't luck. It was surgical. Regroup on me, he ordered, voice cold. It's playing us. Stay sharp. The fog closed in, a living thing that swallowed sound and sight. Michi's sensors flickered, static bleeding into the feed like a virus. The Nighthawk's HUD glitched too, glyphs jittering across his visor. He tapped the comm, Kalia, Tomas, status. Still kicking, Kalia panted, her mad cat's heat signature limping closer. Left arm slag, but I've got the autocannon and half my missiles. Took a chest hit, Tomas growled, warhammer trudging in from the left. Gyros are whining, armor's thin, but I'm upright. Good. Hold position. Michi scanned the haze, floodlights painting ghostly shapes, wrecked mechs, twisted metal. The Black Marauder was out there, stalking. He'd faced sharpshooters before, clan elementals, dragoons, a Kurita samurai who'd nearly cored him on Diron, but nothing moved like this. The rumors crept in again, empty cockpits, pilots gibbering about the Dark One. He shook it off. Focus on the target, not the myth, a shadow flickered left. He swung the autocannon, firing a burst into the fog, rounds chewed up a locust's corpse, nothing else. Kalia, sweep right. Tomas, left. Flush it out, the Mad Cat's remaining missiles arced high, detonating in a wide spread that lit the haze orange. Tomas's PPCs stabbed left, blue-white bolts carving wild arcs. Silence followed, then a heat blip, fast, closing. Got it. Tomas shouted, firing again. The bolts hit something, sparks flared, but the black shape darted back into the murk. Kalia's scream cut the comms, raw and guttural, ending in a wet crack. Her icon flared red, then blacked out. Michi's HUD showed the Mad Cat's torso cord, reactor breached, a smoking crater where Kalia had been. The Black Marauder had struck again, silent as a specter, its green medium laser beams lancing through the fog like venomous streaks. Tomas lost it. You bastard. Show yourself. His warhammer charged into the fog, PPC's blazing blue-white fury. Michi tracked the shots, then saw it, the black shape emerging behind Tomas, too close, too fast. Its autocannon barked, a short, vicious burst, and twin green medium laser beams slashed across the warhammer's rear armor. The Mech lurched, cockpit smoking, and toppled face first into the ash, a 70-ton tombstone. Michi was alone. The plan his cockpit was a furnace, sweat beating under the neurohelmet, stinging his eyes. The Black Marauder's blip pulsed on his HUD, circling like a wolf scenting blood. 3 Mechs down in minutes, Jens, Kalia, Tomas, all dead. He'd misjudged it, assumed numbers would carry the day. Now his lance was slag, and the bounty felt like a noose. But the bounty hunter didn't run, he adapted. 2 centuries of tradition burned in his skull, every trick, every gambit from Nokatsuna to Travers to him. He'd use it, he toggled the comm to the LeBlanc. Rika, prep the ship. If I don't signal in 20, lift off and sell what's left. Clear. Clear, boss, Rika replied, voice tight. You sure about this? Never am, he said. Just be ready. He cut the line and opened a private channel, uploading coordinates to a trap he'd rigged earlier, a gutted hunchback they'd found on the way in, its ammo bays stripped and repacked with explosives from an old periphery dump. Crude, but effective. If the Black Marauder liked shadows, he'd give it one to chase. Michi eased his Marauder back, broadcasting a fake retreat. He fired a PPC into the fog, a wild blue-white bolt deliberately off-target, then powered down non-essentials, floodlights off, reactor dimmed, letting his heat signature fade. The blip shifted, closing fast. He held his breath, counting seconds. The black shape loomed ahead. Stalking toward the hunchback wreck, its silhouette growing larger in the haze. Now, he muttered, triggering the detonator. The explosion tore through the fog, a fireball that shook the ground and lit the battlefield like a supernova. Shrapnel pinged off his armor, chunks of the hunchback raining down, as the Black Marauder staggered, its left leg blackened and buckled, actuator sparking. Michi charged, autocannon roaring, rounds slamming into the damaged limb. Armor splintered, metal screamed, and the black Mech lurched, off balance. He followed with a PPC volley, twin blue-white bolts searing its chest, melting plating into slag. It didn't fall. It turned, impossibly steady, and fired back. A PPC shot grazed his cockpit, a crackling plasma lightning streak that fried sensors and filled the air with ozone. Alarms blared, right arm critical, gyro stressed, heat climbing. He gritted his teeth, pushing forward. Come on, you freak. Let's dance. The duel. The Black Marauder closed, its autocannon spitting death, a staccato burst that hammered Michi's Marauder's shoulder. He juked left, rounds tearing into the joint instead of his core, armor sloughing off in molten ribbons. He returned fire, PPCs and autocannon in unison, blue-white bolts and slugs lighting the fog in strobing flashes. The black Mech's right arm blew apart, the PPC dangling by sparking wires, but it kept coming, twin green medium laser beams slashing red-hot lines across his chest. Heat spiked in Michi's cockpit as the beams melted plating. Tripping more alarms, reactor shielding compromised, he was out of tricks. The lance was gone, the trap spent. It was Mech to Mech, and the Black Marauder wasn't slowing. His HUD flickered worse now, static clawing at the edges, and for a split second, he swore he saw its canopy, empty, dark, a void staring back. The stories weren't tripe. This wasn't just a Mech, it was something else, something that didn't fit the inner sphere's wars. Enough, he snarled, slamming the override. His Marauder surged forward, heat climbing into the red, systems screaming. He aimed point blank, PPCs fully charged, and fired. The twin blue-white bolt struck the Black Marauder's torso, punching through armor and into its guts. Its reactor flared, a white-hot glow that blinded his sensors, and Michi braced as the shockwave hit, his Mech rocked, systems failing, right arm gone, gyro offline, cockpit glass cracking. The ejection klaxon wailed, and he punched out. The Nighthawk's jump jets flared, launching him clear as his Marauder crumpled into the ash. He landed hard, rolling through debris, stern-snacked pistols already in hand, the PA.L.S servos whining under the strain. The Black Marauder lay ahead, a smoldering heap, but moving. Its torso twitched, clawing upright, cockpit still empty, a black maw in the haze. Michi froze, breath catching. It wasn't dead. The Gauss rifle he'd spotted earlier, half buried in a wrecked clint, gleamed 10 meters away. He sprinted, boots crunching ash, and hauled it free, the Nighthawk's strength barely enough to heft the weapon. The Black Marauder loomed closer, one arm gone, torso gutted, but alive, its green medium lasers flickering like dying eyes. He braced the rifle, servos locking, and fired. The hypersonic slug punched through its core, a thunderclap that split the fog, and the black Mech shuddered, then collapsed. Silent at last, the reckoning Michi stood over the wreck, chest heaving, the Nighthawk's HUD flickering out. The fog was thinning, revealing a battlefield of green and black ruins, his Marauder a twisted heap, the Mad Cat and Warhammer smoking graves. Jens, Kalia, Tomas, gone, their Sibyl shares unspent. He'd won, but the cost was steep. The LeBlanc's engines rumbled in the distance, Rika coming to pick up the pieces. He'd claim the bounty, rebuild, pass the torch someday. That was the tradition, etched in the book he'd inherited from Vic Travers. Written by every hunter before him, but as he stared at the Black Marauder's husk, its empty cockpit seemed to stare back. No pilot, no blood, just a void. He'd killed it, but the legends wouldn't die. They never did. The Republic would pay, and the periphery would whisper of the Dark One returning, pilot or not. Michi holstered the stern snacks, turning away. The green would rise again. The black? He didn't want to know. He tapped the comm, Rika, I'm alive. Bring the ship. We've got salvage to haul, copy, boss, she said, relief bleeding through. What's left? Enough, he lied, glancing back at the black wreck one last time. Just enough. Epilogue 2 weeks later, the LeBlanc docked at Galax. A Republic outpost buzzing with rumors of the fight. Michi, sans Nighthawk, sat in a dive bar, a stack of Sibyl chits on the table, his cut of the bounty, minus a new Marauder and a fresh lance. The tradition lay open beside him, its pages yellowed but intact. He scribbled a line, Black Marauder, Onverwacht, 3151, no pilot. No answers, a holovid flickered in the corner, some talking head jabbering about a jet Black Marauder, sighted near Novo Franklin, cockpit empty, green medium lasers cutting through the night. Michi snorted, draining his glass. Let them talk. He'd faced it, killed it, and walked away. That was enough, for now.